Good afternoon, all. Thank you for attending. I'm really pleased to host this webinar for Mipac on Life Beyond Paper and Spreadsheets. You may see on your screen that my picture says Sarah. I'll assure you that I'm not Sarah. My name is Sam Gapic. I also want to let you know that this is being recorded and that once the presentation is completed, we will send you a link, then you can download this presentation yourself. Also, if you have any questions to ask, please ask it in the Q&A, or if you want to chat with us, please put a comment in the chat. So thank you again for attending, and we'll get started. As I mentioned, my name is Sam Gapic. I'm the Business Development Manager for Mipac, based in Vancouver, Canada. And I want to give you an idea of the expectations for the webinar. We'll be introducing a little bit about Mipac, because Mipac is a very broad and deep organization in terms of capability. We'll ask you a couple of digitalization questions just to see if you kind of have a handle on where digitalization is in the mining sector. I'll talk a little bit about the importance of digitalization in mining, how it has been successfully implemented at sites where Mipac has worked with, and some software solutions that have been used for these enablements. As far as Mipac is concerned, we are considered a global leader in operational technology, control systems, and engineering services. And I guess if I was to say what are the four key streams of capabilities or expertise we have, it's really building new operations, optimizing existing operations, modernizing existing operations, and also main automation contracting. And what we mean by main automation contracting is, I'll give you an example. We were just awarded a contract with Oz Minerals in West Australia, who are owned by BHP. And this is a copper and gold miner, copper and nickel miner. And we are going to be designing, procuring, installing, and commissioning all the automation around that mine. So lots of expertise. We've been an operational partner for mineral processing organizations in copper, gold, and other base minerals for the last 26 years. As you see on the left side here, we are currently 650 projects globally, in 50 countries, and we have 100 global clients. In addition, we will be talking a little bit about the associated software solutions that have really become out of this expertise in automation control systems, instrumentation, and so on. If you look at the diagram I'm showing you today, we work all over the globe. North America, South America, India, Africa, Russia, Australasia, Southeast Asia, and so on. So we are pretty much taking on any projects globally. And if I was to ask our customers what kind of projects do they say we take on the tough projects, the projects that a lot of organizations won't take on. We take them on, we successfully deliver them, and we get positive outcomes and positive feedback from our customers, which I'll share with you a little bit further. I talked about a little bit about questions, so I'd like to kind of ask you what your thoughts are around digitalization in mining. And if I was to ask, how many mines have completed at least one digital implementation in mining? And the options are 1%, 10%, 50, or 75. And it's 10%. So not a lot of mines have completed digital implementation. Question 2, how much can mining throughput increase as a result of digital transformation? Again, 10 to 20, 30 to 40, 50 to 60, or 70 to 80. And it's 10 to 20, which is very significant if you consider, if we kind of do the opposite and say, well, what would it cost a mine to stop production for one day? We know sometimes it's in the thousands, hundreds of thousands, in some cases millions. So you can imagine what a improvement of 10 to 20% could actually result in. Question 3, the last one, is how many mining operations have leveraged customizable digital tools? Again, 1%, 5%, 10%, or 25%. And we see 25%. So there are, a reasonable amount of mining companies that are leveraging these tools, particularly in the automation area in complex mineral processing. The importance, I think it's pretty clear to most miners that digitalization is not a matter of when, not a matter of if, but when. And it's important to recognize that there are many drivers for this. I think it's just a matter of adoption. And if we were to kind of say and put a baseline in what is digital transformation. It's really integration of digital technologies into all areas of the mine, from up to optimizing and value delivery. From what we've been seeing, 80% of the mining industry is willing to increase investment in digital mining. However, only 40% of these digitally mature sectors, only 40% of mining companies are adopting. Where you look at automotive and chemical industries, which are also process manufacturing, have adopted a lot of these technologies. Rockwell Automation did a study, and they found that only 1/3 of mines are really seriously exploring, and are in a fact-finding stage for digitization. Some of the benefits of digital transformation. And look, some of these are standard ones you recognize, but many of these are things that you kind of don't think that digitalization will impact, but in fact it does. Mine safety, obviously very important for all miners, is that mine safety can be affected by having access to up-to-date data and making decisions based on current information, not post-shift. Reducing environmental impact. And if we have information relative to what we're consuming, what we're putting out in the environment, we can definitely make some better decisions around what we do and what we don't do. I think saving costs. Saving costs is a very important one, but I put it as number 3, or we've seen it as number 3, because obviously safety, environment are of the utmost importance. But again, looking at automating real-time consuming manual tasks, we can just save a lot of costs. Improve production. We can look at work. One example is work schedule and allocation. We can improve production based on that. Second to last is helping the team anticipate and deal with mine failures. We've heard a lot about ChatGPT and artificial intelligence and such. All those things are an integral part, and we'll be exploring those a lot more further. But they help us in dealing with mine failures, and also really predicting what is going to happen. And I guess last but not least is tracking and maintaining mine performance in real time. Typically what happens is there's a post-shift review. What have we done over the last 12 hours? What we're trying to get to is real time or near real time. Real time as in now, I want to know what's happening now so I can make decisions. Near real time could be an hour or 2 hours after the fact to make decisions on that, versus 12 hours. So you can understand the benefit of that. Now, how can you as an organization start your digital transformation? And this is something that I've kind of gathered together from my experience talking to other people, and also from the Mipac team, who have a lot of experience in this. I think the first, and you'll see it's the second one, not the first one, because the first one I've kind of saved for last. Focus on quick wins to prove out the investment and see what the value will be. Outline the goals. What's the end state goal, and what are the value expectations? And it's really good to be realistic. What can you deliver? What can you actually sign up for? It's really important not to set expectations too high for your management, and also set them so that you can actually deliver them. Fourth is anticipate changes. Look for bottlenecks. Understand the resource requirements, because any digital transformation requires people. People need to be pulled out of the business. People need to understand that they need to be involved in this to get value and to actually get a successful outcome. And there are many change management requirements. You can't just implement a solution and say, well, there you go, off you go. You have to prepare people. You have to help them understand what they need to be doing differently to gain this value, and also ensure you have in place proper training requirements and in place to help these people. Number 5 is technical innovation. You look for evidence of solutions of where it's provided value. Your peers, your competitors, or similar process industries. We talked about automotive industry. We talked about a chemical industry. We could talk about oil and gas. Many of these organizations, we identify them as process manufacturing, and they are using solutions. Obviously, they won't be identical, but there'll be many similarities. So in terms of technical innovation, look at other industries that have been successfully delivering this. Number 6, avoid implementation fatigue. I say start small, think big, go fast, because if you're taking 6, 8, 9, 12 months to implement something, you're going to get tired. You're going to lose focus of the reason you started this. So really start to get some quick wins. As I said in number 2, identify some quick wins so you can actually show management that we've made a change, we've implemented something, and we've actually realized the benefit for this. And the last way you can start digital transformation is selecting a solution. I use the formula rapid value realization equals a solution built for mineral processing, that solution that has low disruption to the business. It's intuitive to use. We're all used to now picking up an Apple device or an Android device, and within minutes we know how to use it. And the days of actually taking weeks and months to learn how to use something are far gone. No business can afford that anymore. So it needs to be intuitive, easy to use. And I guess last, which I think is an obvious one, it needs to be affordable. It needs to be affordable in the context of what you're doing. If you're spending $100, you need to be getting $100+ dollars. If you're spending $1 million, you need to be getting obviously many more millions than you're spending. So I use the formula rapid value realization is equal to built for mineral processing, low disruption, intuitive to use, and affordable. I'd like to give you a case study of Glencore, Mount Isa mine. So Glencore had a problem statement. They put forward a problem that they had. It says, we're using our ERP system today for task management. It's complicated. It's not usable for managing operative tasks across a 24/7 operation. Routine tasks were okay with that system, but regular tasks were just missed. It was causing disruption when faults were blocking. When everything was working fine, it's okay, but when any faults or blockages occurred, it was very complex to use. And again, back to intuitive, easy to use. Those things are very important. They identified a lack of responsibility and accountability, and also visibility. Who did what, when it was done, and this made tasks very difficult. And actually coming back to somebody saying, "Well, did you do this? Didn't you do that?" So that was a really important part. These combined problems led to a disrupted production, downtime, and obviously additional costs to the business. So that was their statement to us, saying, "Look, we've got this problem," and they also identified what they wanted to accomplish. So like any good business, they said, we have a problem, and for us, good looks like this. This is their desired outcome. Spread the workload so that the same crew are not always doing a particular task. Make the task management clear and coherent so that everyone manages the same task in a consistent manner, no matter what shift you're in, whatever day you come in, what task you're working on. There's a friendliness to the system to understand how they use it. They need to be able to embed information. There's cameras now. We want to be able to embed pictures. We want to be able to access manuals, trainings, some photos of what it looks like or what it looked like when it was in a good state, and maybe take a picture and say, "This is what I've done. This is how it looks now that I fixed it." And they should be able to access all these while they're doing the task. They wanted to ensure the system worked with the operator's roster and continuous shift cycles, that it wasn't just done in a way that there was no consistency in rosters and shift cycles. Transparency, who did what, when did they do it? Everybody across the operation should be able to see what was done and when it was done. And give the operators a sense of purpose and recognition for a job well done and for good performance, and have visibility to management, who's doing a good job and maybe who's not meeting standards that are expected. So some of the levers Glencore used to achieve this outcome was they looked across the market for solutions. They said, look, there should be something out there, and there's lots of mineral processing industries and companies out there. There should be something that we can use to help us with this. They talked to us about it as being experts in mineral processing. They talked to us and said, look, what would it take to develop a solution to help us address the desired outcome, or come up with the desired outcome that we talked about earlier? And we worked with them, and in fact, we developed a commercially viable solution that was called T-Card. And when I say code, you see how I've highlighted co-develop. We actually co-developed with them. We did iteration, we talked to them, they gave us feedback, we worked with them. So the solution that was called T-Card for operation management was really and truly co-developed, and you can see that it is a purpose-built solution. And what value did they get? Again, it's really important to say we have a problem, we have a lever to, we want this outcome. What are the levers used to get that outcome? And then you obviously have to measure what outcome did I gain from that solution. So they very quickly saved $250,000 in lost or avoided downtime. They managed their tasks in 24/7 shifts, very clearly, very consistent. They introduced a specific interval of tasks to address regular back blockages and downtime problems with their chiller system, for example. And this removed that problem, in their words, completely. They increased transparency across the board, identified additional opportunities to raise work orders and address maintenance issues that may have otherwise gone unnoticed. And obviously, connectivity to the ERP system, they were able to then make those create those work notifications to be able to create work orders as there were people out there doing the work themselves. They improved morale. I mean, task management, operation management sometimes can be a little bit of a dry, routine job, but using a system like TCARD, they really improved employee engagement and morale because they were able to change the roles and change the things that people were doing to keep some variety in their work. And last, if you look at how the system was being used, they were performing 4,000 operational tasks per month. So the system was very useful to them. They were using it extensively, and I guess the best way to say it, what the value they got was from. And the last thing was a full-time planner was no longer required for the operational manager. They were really able to use the system for that. And the last thing is really to kind of, I'll let you quickly read that for a second, this is from Mark Peterson, the manager of the copper smelter at Mount Isa. And the one thing that kind of stands out to me is that they identified solutions to problems they really weren't even aware existed. But as they started making things better, they said, well, hang on a second, there's something here that isn't working well. Maybe we can use a TCARD to do that. And they, in fact, did, and they gained value from it. So let's quickly show you the solution that Glencore Mount Isa Mine used and others across globally are using as well. And I'll quickly go through it. It's called TCARD. It's built for operations management. And I guess the best way to show you is to give you a quick 1-minute demo.
TCARD is a secure, cloud-based task management system created specifically for industrial plant operations. TCARD can be quickly configured to match your plant and operating cycles and complement existing asset management systems. Deployed in days, TCARD is cost-effective to set up and maintain. A powerful and intuitive tool, TCARD utilizes a system of templates to standardize and automate your tasks based on your shift cycles, rosters, and shutdowns. TCARD is simple to learn. In each plant area, your operations team view their tasks, prioritized and ready to action. It takes one click for operators to see your standard work procedure, text, photos, permits, and safety requirements. You see the real-time status across all plant areas. As you receive feedback including incomplete tasks, you can make adjustments that are reflected through your system. TCARD has supported you and your team to complete today's operating tasks while balancing safety, production, and availability.
Okay, so that was a quick demonstration of TCARD. I didn't want to take a lot of time in that. In addition to TCARD, we have other solutions, again, that are purpose-built with our partners in mining. MPA log sheets. So typically log sheets in many instances are paper and in other instances are spreadsheet-based. And spreadsheet-based, we've heard a lot of feedback that it just creates a lot of problems, a lot of data entry, a lot of calculation errors. There may be things that just didn't work. I mean, they've had spreadsheets sitting in the cloud and they bring it back. It's hard to share and so on. So again, with the request from our customers, we built MPA digital log sheets. And digital log sheets kind of look like this. And if you take all the good things that Excel has, you take all the good things that come from a historian, for example, we can start collecting data real time. We can start having areas where we can have our human sensor, which is collecting information from instrumentation and so on. And now we have one view of the truth, a digital log sheet that looks and feels like Microsoft Excel, but is a robust solution that sits on one database and allows anybody to enter, obviously as a user license, to enter information. Information can be shared, and we can set this up for multiple areas. You can see here on the left side for grinding log sheets, there's reagents report, crushing plant, many areas we can set up for that, and that's a very useful tool that many of our customers are using. And another view is really around the summary alerts. So if we're looking at the alerts that have come up from there, we can look through this. And in this example, we're looking at a ball mill, and we see there's a power draw that is in excess of what we wanted it to be. The other solution that is part of our suite is digital TARP. So for those that aren't aware, maybe aren't aware, and I'm sure everybody is, TARP stands for Trigger Action Response Plans. It really empowers teams to make that quick decision and better decision when things don't go to plan. It's very easy to say we have a couple sheets of paper, we have a clipboard somewhere hooked on a wall, and when things don't go to plan, things go at fault, and we'll just take that and we'll work through it. And the reality is that it just tends to fall apart. So we built a digital TARP which allows our customers, I'll quickly let you see this, to look at, this is an example of a high refer feed, and identified a number of criticalities, and now these inputs to how we reacted to this. Again, this is completely shared amongst anybody who's a user, and people have accountabilities and responsibilities to enter things in here, and we can now keep track. Are we actually responding to the problem adequately? And there's a history of previous TARPs, so we can go back in history and look at how we reacted to previous TARPs, and have we addressed the things we were supposed to in a timely manner. And that's pretty much the presentation as we have it. This is being recorded, and when we finish completely, you will be sent a link and you can download this presentation. So if there's any part of this you wanted to review, please feel free.